Welcome everybody to the Mind, Body, and Soul TV, coming to you live from Denver, Colorado as well. That's our studio, our internet TV studio, as well as YouTube Live and Google Plus Hangouts and ConsciousEvolutionMedia.com. I'm your host, Coach Steve Toth, and we have a fascinating guest with us this afternoon. Her name is Leah Yekutiel. She's an author, and she's joining us from California. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for inviting me. I love your show.
You're very welcome. Well, we haven't even started yet, so let's wait. Make sure that you still love it after we're done. So if I take away the title author and any other titles anybody ever called you, like maybe a husband, a friend, a colleague, you name it, mother, father, whatever. Well, not a father, mother maybe. If I take away all those titles, what's left? Who is really Leah Yekutiel?
A spiritual being functioning through this body right now.
Okay.
In this lifetime.
Awesome. Great answer.
The titles don't mean anything.
Yeah, awesome. So, the theme of the show today is how to make the rest of it, which is a very interesting title. It's also the title of her book. And a lot of times people may read this or see it on our YouTube channel, and maybe they think we misspelled best, but we didn't. It is really how to make the rest of it. And what we're going to be talking about, of course, is breast cancer. And we're going to be talking about mastectomy and all the things that you went through to get to where you are today. So let's begin with your experience of what was it like. I cannot even relate to this subject matter because if I said I understand, I would be I would be lying, because I think in order for somebody to understand this, they have to really go through it. And I think since you went through it, you are the master to let our viewers know what this is really about. Most importantly, how people can go back to the bedroom and still feel great and have fun in life and not have this in their way. So let's begin with, how did this all start, Leah?
Well, how all this started? Actually, I received a spiritual message that something was happening in my breast. And I knew exactly which part it was. I just did not know what it was.
How long ago was that?
In the year 2000.
Wow. So this has been a 40-year journey.
Yes, 14 years journey, yes.
And so obviously you probably gone to the doctors, right? And you got diagnosed.
So, you know, I went to the doctor and they did mammogram, and a week later they called me again to do another mammogram because apparently it was not conclusive that there was something wrong with my breast. So they needed to do another mammogram, which they did. And at that point, they told me that there was something abnormal in my breast, and therefore I had to go and do biopsy in order to find out what it was.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that this is an epidemic, or is it beyond epidemic?
It is epidemic.
How many women get this? And by the way, this is not just happening to women; it's happening to men as well. But I think it's a lot smaller percentage. I think the majority of humanity that this is happening to is women. And do you have any statistics right from the top of your head?
Yes, it happens. 1 out of 7 or 8 women will have breast cancer sometime during their lifetimes.
Wow. And what do you think the cause is? What do you think the cause is, Leah?
Many different causes, mostly stress. In my case, it was because doctor put me on hormone replacement therapy. And that's what caused it, in my case. but mostly stress, and it's not.
So wait a minute. So hold on. So are you saying that you had another illness, and whatever they prescribed for that, this was a byproduct of that?
No, I did not have any other illness.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
Going through menopause. If you call it illness, then it's illness. But
Okay.
it's not illness.
Okay. I guess it's not illness. I sometimes go through it myself and I feel ill. I'm going like, what are these hot flashes I'm having? I told you we were gonna have fun. Okay, so
I knew that with your personality.
okay, so because of that, you were subscribed something, and it was could I say it was the unintended consequence?
Actually, it was
Or am I being
intended.
too nice?
Let me tell you why. Because this, I did not know at the time I was prescribed, but I found out when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The doctors asked me what kind of medication I'm on, and I told them what kind of medication I was on, and they told me immediately stop it. But that time, I had taken it for 10 years.
Whoa.
And this medication or hormone replacement therapy should have been the most can women take 5 years. Even 5 years is not good. And the doctors knew, the pharmaceutical companies, let's put it this way, knew that there are two side effects to those hormone replacement therapy. One of them is depression, and the second one was breast cancer. And I had them both. And before that, I was healthy. Everything was fine. I did not have any diseases besides getting cold, you know, in the winter time. That was it.
Wow. All right, so let's move along because we only have a short half hour. So I want to make sure that we get to the main portion of what I think you want to communicate to the public, which is you know, how to continue to have intimacy after something like this happens to someone, which I think is awesome. And so let's just quickly move through what happened after you got diagnosed. You were told, I'm sure, that you have breast cancer, and then what did they say? You have you have a few choices, right? That's where they always go. Choice number one. And this all takes 9 minutes, right? Usually this all takes 9 minutes.
Steve, choice number one was lumpectomy.
Okay.
Which means they remove the part of the breast which is infected, according to them.
Okay.
And then after that, they discovered that the margin was not clear, which means there were still in my breast more cancer cells. And at that time, they recommended that I'll do mastectomy. And for me, it was very traumatic.
Which means what? Removing the breast?
It was very traumatic because I had a beautiful body. I did not even used to wear a bra. And I had beautiful breasts. And all of a sudden, I mean, to have removed my breast. But at that time, I was really totally ignorant about breast cancer. I did not know anybody who had breast cancer or cancer for the same matter. And so I went along with it, you know, what the doctors told me. I went along and.
So did you have one removed or both of them?
One.
Okay. All right. So you went through the operation, right? I
went through the operation, and because I could not handle living with one breast, I wanted them to do reconstruction. And
let's just hang on for just a second there. Okay. So when you say I couldn't handle living with one breast, can you like go a little bit deeper with that so that the viewers understand what you mean by that? Was it difficult? Were you married at the time or?
No, I was single. Okay. I was single, and I've been always single.
So what couldn't you deal with? The fact that what? Finish the sentence.
Well, you know, I had these beautiful summer dresses, wearing them without bra, and everything was just great. And all of a sudden, I mean, you know, I have a full closet of summer dresses that I did not need to wear a bra, and because I did not even wear a bra, I did not own a bra, and my size was C cup, and I did not wear a bra. So I have beautiful breasts. All of a sudden, I have to lose one. It's really shocking to the system.
Yeah.
How am I going to live? I mean, you know, I looked in the mirror and I said, I saw damaged good.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm just trying to somehow relate to this, and where I'm going with this is, what would it be like if I had to remove my penis or something? Would it be like equivalent to that? It's like, okay, so now what?
Yeah, but you see, if you had to remove your penis, you would not be able to function as a man anymore.
Correct.
But women,
I would have to consider becoming
sexually without breasts as well.
Wow.
And it took me some time to get over it, and that's why I wanted to have breast reconstruction, which the first time was too high on my breast, second time too low on my chest, third time it got infected.
Wow.
Basically, within 10 months, I had 6 surgeries with unsuccessful reconstruction. And at that point, I went to the doctor one day. I said, you remove it. I don't care if I ever have another breast or not. That's how tough it was.
Yeah, this is a pretty rough conversation. Do you think, Leo, do people talk about this stuff? Because I don't hear people talking about this that much.
Well, people don't talk about it.
It's kind of interesting because if it's happening, you know, what did you say? What the statistics were? 7 out of 10, not 7 out of 10.
No, 1 out of 7.
1 out of 7, right? Correct.
Yeah.
1 out of 7. That's a lot of people that this is happening to, and people are not talking.
Because a lot of people think at it as a stigma. Because men, let me tell you a story. One of my girlfriends, by name Diane, was engaged to be married to this guy. Okay? When he found out that she had breast cancer, he canceled the engagement on the phone with her, claiming she was not a woman anymore, just because she had breast cancer. So you see what kind of ignorance exists in our society, and that's why a lot of women are afraid to talk about it. This is the reason, and this is sad.
What I'm trying to like really get connected to is now, you know, going into the bedroom. What is that experience must be like for a woman that either missing one or both of their breasts? Talk about that for a minute. What is that like?
It's very traumatic. It's like.
Do you tell the guy before you go into the bedroom, or do you tell him?
Oh yeah, they know in advance. I don't hide anything. I don't hide anything. I say, hey, you know, I had breast cancer and I have one breast.
Mhm.
That's it.
And then they go what? They go what? Okay.
I don't like it either, but you know, that's what I have.
Uh, it's either they say okay or they walk.
Yeah, they know in advance.
Uh,
So we don't get to the bedroom unless they know about it.
so okay, so great. So that's awesome. So you're being upfront about it, and then so both of you have to kind of deal with it though, even that you are being upfront, because you must be going and having conversation inside of your head, and so does he. I'm just guessing. I never had this experience, so I'm not an expert at this. You got to help me out here. What's the conversation that's going on in your head, and possibly do you know what's going on in the guy's head?
Are you talking when I meet a guy
No, I'm talking about when you're actually in the bedroom. What do you think by? Oh, stop.
Where are you going?
I'm just wondering. I'm curious because I'm just looking at me. I'm going like, okay. So if a woman told me, so okay, so let me just put myself in there. So I am going out with somebody and I really like her, okay? And after whatever time passes, we may get to the point that we may be at the door of the bedroom. But before we at the door of the bedroom, I already know because she has disclosed it to me that she has one breath, and I go, okay. However, since I never had the experience, I really don't know. I'm just speaking for me. What is it going to be like? Because I never had the experience. But I'm open, and I say, okay.
Steve, what is it like for you or for me?
Well, both. I'm curious for both, but you may be only able to answer for you. So
you see,
just help us understand what is it like for you. What are you thinking about, and are you concerned about the guy? Like, what is he going to be freaking out?
No,
because it's one thing that people say, okay, and it's another thing actually going through the experience.
You see, if the person says okay, then there is no problem. He accepts me the way I am because I accepted myself the way I am.
Yeah, but don't you know that people lie all the time? A lot of the time people just tell you, people just tell you what you want to hear.
You are funny, Steve. You are funny.
You know how guys are.
I hope you will never have this experience.
Why not? I'm open to it.
No.
What are you doing this evening?
You are happily married.
Me?
Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not happily or unhappily married. I'm not married.
Oh, you're not married. Oh, you're just like me.
Yeah.
So now you want to
and I have both. I have both of my breasts.
Lucky you. And you know what, Steve? If God forbid you had breast cancer, nobody's going to think less of you, and it's not going to diminish your manhood in any way or sense. But when it comes to women having breast cancer, the reaction is totally different. Just the way the story I told you earlier. And in my book, the reason I wrote the book, because I encountered so many women and so many men, how they react to their situation. And therefore, in the book, I empower women and inspire men how to react to how to deal with the women in their life who had breast cancer. Because there are so many men who are married or they have girlfriends and they break up because she had breast cancer because they don't have the knowledge how to handle it. And what the woman projects, that's what she gets back. Because when I project that I'm okay, I accepted myself, and I am okay with it. Now, if you, Steve, okay with it, then there is no problem. And if you're not okay with it, then I'm not going to see you anymore.
Okay.
That's it. You're not going to see me. You don't want to see me because you do not accept me. That's it.
Okay. I don't know.
You know, I go to many groups and talk about it. And one woman asked me, "How did you overcome fear of intimacy after your mastectomy?" Because this is a subtitle of my book. And the question was, "Did doctor help you with that?" I said, "No, my dear. Doctors do not help you with that. No psychologist, no psychiatrist, nobody can help you with that. All they do, all the doctors give you a prescription for something to numb your feelings. That's all they do. And I don't take any medication. And, you know, it was really interesting, Steve. When I published the book, before it was published, I contacted some cancer organization and I told them, you know, I have this book about this subject and there is no book in the market about this subject of mastectomy or fear of intimacy after mastectomy. And here is a book, and I want you to help me to publish it. You know, to print it, publish it, because I did not have the money at that time. And you know what they told me? They told me they cannot do that because they have somebody on their staff, a man on their staff, who is writing about this subject. And I'm a woman who went through it. I'm not acceptable, but a man who is doing the research from people like me, how I overcame it, from person like me, he's going to write a book. Can you believe this?
Oh, sure. Sure. There's tons of universities where, you know, all these teachers are teaching like about business, but they actually never own the business. Yeah. It happens all the time. People are claiming to be quote unquote experts and masters.
Exactly.
Where they actually have never done it.
Never experienced it. So my answer to this was, I am into spiritual development since the 80s. So I did fight it at the beginning. I could not handle it. But then I said, hey, you know what? I'm the same person. One breast or less or no, you know, I would rather to have another breast because I could wear my summer dresses, but I gave them away, so no big deal. What can I do? I mean, I changed my wardrobe, totally changed my wardrobe.
Wow.
So that's where I am. So
I know we gotta wrap up here pretty soon, but what is the fear that you were talking about? The fear of intimacy. What are women or men? What is the fear? What are they fearing?
The fear is body image. Is body image, because men, especially Western men, worship breast, women's breast. They worship. I mean, you know, God given us breast to women to feed their offsprings. But in the Western society, women go enlarge their breast and reduce the size and do all kind of stuff because they're not comfortable with it, because our society puts so much attention on
because it sells things.
It sells things, exactly.
And when you don't have it anymore, then maybe you won't be able to sell things.
Yeah. But you know, they sell prostheses, they sell special bras, they sell all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part is that it's been 14 years since I had mastectomy. Because I had so many surgeries, I still have pain in my chest. So imagine.
Wow, so the nerves are still active.
The nerve damage, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Imagine what kind of job they did.
Yeah, well, you went. Sounds like you went through a pretty serious roller coaster there. So I want to make sure we don't run out of time, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to mention your book and where people can get your book if they're interested in how to feel good again and be able to be intimate in the bedroom even if you had mastectomy. So why don't you share that with our viewers, just the book, where to get it, and maybe your website?
My website is www.ilovemybreastcancer.com. All in one word, ilovemybreastcancer.com. And if they go to visit my website, they can also have option to download for free 25 breast health tips, where if they apply it to their daily life, some of them, they can prevent many cancers, and especially breast cancer. Because a lot of this stuff are preventable. But our environment, our medical establishment want us to be sick because then they can give us chemotherapy, radiation, and make money. It's just a business like any other business. And this is so sad.
Very sad. Yeah. Well, you've been absolutely terrific. I can't believe how comfortable you made this conversation because it's not something I talk about every day. This is probably maybe I don't know, maybe the second time. I actually had a guy friend that went through it, and I couldn't get much out of him. He wasn't really willing to share his feelings. So I don't have much, experience with it. And although we did have a cast member, we had a show called Living Consciously TV, and we had a cast member once that has gone through it, and she actually made a documentary out of her entire experience. So that was, that was pretty powerful. But this is not an everyday conversation. Not just for me, but I'm sure for a lot of people. But I think the best way to help people is to make sure that people are aware and awake and educate them. And I think that's what your book is all about. I'm sure it's what it's all about, is to educate people what this is and what it isn't. Because people probably, since they don't know for sure what it is, they make up all kinds of stories that isn't real, right?
Yeah, because there are a lot of exercises in the book that they can do in order to feel complete, to get in touch with their spiritual aspect of life, where they can learn that we are not our bodies, and neither we are only our breasts, in order to be functional, viable sexual beings. And we can still have sex and still enjoy it.
Well, thanks for enrolling me into that possibility. Where do I sign?
I'm afraid, Steve, now you're going to look around and find out with women that you want to say, okay, you have breast cancer, you have mastectomy, hey, let's get together because you want to experience it.
Yeah, I really, to be honest, I don't really have a judgment about it. what I have is just a little discomfort with the fact that, you know, I've been with a lot of women in my life, and I do like breasts, and I know what it feels like to hold both of them. And the little discomfort I have is that it's like, I don't know, I can't put my mind and my arms around what would it feel like if one or two was missing. That's the question.
This one is missing.
Well, what does it feel like? And the only way I think I'm going to get the answer is to actually go through it. Yeah. This is not something you can just talk about.
You see, the issue is that men reacting the way you react.
Well, I'm a man.
I know.
And I'm proud that I'm awake and conscious, but I'm still on my journey. I mean, it's not like, you know,
I know
I am 100% perfect at all times, because I'm not. I have weird times. I have times when I'm not connected to my heart.
Well, that's the point. When you get connected to your heart and to your beingness, you realize that if you miss one breast, it's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
Unless I run into some people like Steve Todd, who's not familiar with this subject.
Everything is off the chart, and you go, well, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. It's fine. You know how when you call up to a call center and they ask you these questions, and based on if you say yes or no, they take you down to a path. So are you saying that you can't take me down on a path? Oh, that's sad.
No. I'm just teasing you, okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Because you ask such intimate questions.
Well, because I'm open.
I have to take you as an example because I'm talking with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole point of our network is that we want people to understand and feel and be present to what's happening right now. And I am so connected with this conversation with you that I'm like, I'm like right here with you, and I'm over there with you, not just here, but over there with you. And I can sometimes even feel and hear something that you may not even saying, because I'm so into it. I'm so into who you being and how beautifully you represent this experience, this unfortunate experience that you've had. But I'm sure that you probably even came to that conclusion that this is part of your path, and there was a reason. Sometimes, we don't know. Like, there's stuff that happens to me that I don't understand. Why the heck did it happen? But it's not it may be not my time in the present space and time to know, but it will be revealed to me later, Yeah,
well, what you are doing right now, what are you doing? I mean, you are bringing people like me, you are bringing other people who talk about this subject, and you are open, you are awake, you are aware what's happening. And that's great. You are doing a great job as well.
Thank you, Leah. We really got to wrap up because we're late, and we got to get the next guest up. So, thank you so much, Leah Yekutiel. You were absolutely awesome. You made this conversation really easy. A very hard subject, and you made it. You were like a fantastic tennis player. You just handled it beautifully. Thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve, for inviting me to be a guest on your show.
We would love to have you back anytime.